Imagine a humble London cafe where an unexpected message appears on a table. Julian Jessop, a 79-year-old artist who has drifted into loneliness after his wife's departure, has left behind a plain green notebook titled The Authenticity Project. In it, he pours out his deepest thoughts and challenges whoever finds it to be honest and vulnerable. He describes his life in vivid detail, his days of fame, his lost love, and the crushing emptiness of his widowhood, and then leaves the notebook at a table, hoping that someone will answer his challenge and continue the project by telling their own truth. Monica's confession and a new mission. Monica, a tidy and warm-hearted woman in her late 30s who runs the cafe, discovers Julian's notebook. She reads his heartfelt entries and feels a surge of compassion. Monica, who desperately wishes for a husband and a child after years of career success, writes her own truth in the notebook. Grateful for Julian's honesty and determined to help him, Monica crafts a flyer seeking a local artist to teach painting classes at her cafe, secretly hoping Julian will see it. She then quietly leaves the notebook on a table at a nearby bar, unaware that the next person to find it will change everything again. Hazard's awakening. That very night, the green notebook finds its way into the hands of Timothy Hazard, a once successful stockbroker now battling addiction. Stumbling out of a wine bar after another wasted evening, Hazard recognizes Monica's name in the notebook. Feeling ashamed of how he had treated Monica, he had once cursed at her by mistake. He pockets the notebook instead of returning it. Haunted by Julian's honesty and Monica's confessions, Hazard senses he needs to change. He closes his bar, tab, and determined to reinvent himself, leaves for Thailand to detox. On a quiet beach in Thailand, Hazard slowly recovers and rereads the entries. An idea strikes him. He'll play matchmaker for Monica. Among his fellow travelers, he focuses on Riley, a charming Australian landscape gardener headed to London. Under a full moon, Hazard slyly slips the green notebook into Riley's luggage as a nudge. Months later, Hazard returns home sober, curious to see if his plan will spark a romance. Art classes and new friendships. Back in London, Julian finally spots Monica's flyer at the cafe and tentatively agrees to teach a weekly art class. Monica is thrilled. After years of solitude, Julian once made a dental appointment just to talk to someone. He now has a reason to smile each day. Slowly, a small community forms around this class. Monica helps Julian tidy his cluttered flat. In return, Julian shares his gentle wisdom and quirky humor. Each painting session turns into a warm gathering where strangers become friends. New faces join the group. Monica meets Riley at a class, the easygoing Australian with sun-kissed enthusiasm, and they start spending time together. A slow, sweet romance begins to blossom despite their own walls. Meanwhile, Benji, the kind barista at the cafe, introduces his boyfriend Baz. Benji and Baz add even more warmth and humor to the circle. As the friends paint and laugh together, they even help Julian fix up his home, literally peeling down old wallpaper and dusting off decades of memories. This act of restoration mirrors how they're also rebuilding their own lives, secrets and the Christmas confrontation, but old secrets still linger beneath the surface. During a cozy Christmas lunch at the cafe, Julian casually mentions Baz's partner to Baz's grandmother Betty, who had no idea her grandson was gay. Baz feels exposed and betrayed. He storms out, leaving hurt and confusion behind. In an instant, the harmony is shattered. Then on Christmas Day, there's one more surprise. Hazard quietly returns from Thailand and walks through the cafe door. He grins as he sees Riley and Monica sitting close together, proving that his matchmaker plan worked. Proudly, he proclaims, "I just love it when a plan comes together." At first, everyone cheers for his success, but the celebration turns tense. Monica learns in front of everyone that Riley had actually read her private entry in the notebook. She feels blindsided and furious. Furious at this breach of trust, Monica angrily ejects everyone from the cafe and cancels the art classes. Julian, devastated, retreats into depression. The friends disperse, each feeling guilty and unsure how to fix what was broken. Regrouping, and new life. In the aftermath, everyone realizes how much Monica and Julian have been hurt. Guilt and concern begin to pull them back together, along with a newcomer. The green notebook, now passed from Riley, next falls into the hands of Alice. Alice is a 26-year-old new mother, a former corporate executive who shares her life on Instagram. On social media, she posts the picture-perfect scenes, but behind the camera she's exhausted, overwhelmed, and deeply lonely. Searching for something real, Alice turns up at Monica's cafe a few days later. Initially, Monica is icy and distrustful. She's not sure she wants to trust a stranger either. But Riley and Hazard insist on giving Alice a chance. They remind Monica that the whole point of the notebook was honesty and support. Gradually, Monica's anger softens. The friends agree to restart Julian's art classes, and Alice eagerly joins the circle. Alice instantly bonds with Julian. Enchanted by his classic style and warm, eccentric personality, she begins photographing his paintings. She sets up an Instagram account for him, sharing his artwork with the world. To everyone's amazement, Julian's art goes viral. He gains thousands of followers overnight. Julian is thrilled by this renewed attention and even sells some paintings, realizing how much he missed being admired. However, as his fame grows, he also starts spending more time outside the group, at exhibitions and events, slipping back into the celebrity life he once knew. Meanwhile, the others grow closer than ever. Monica and Hazard lean on each other and become good friends. Alice, Riley, and Hazard decide to give back to the community. They start a garden project at a local childcare center. Riley lends his gardening know-how, and Hazard brings the elbow grease he's found. Working together side by side under sunny skies, the group laughs, heals old wounds, and watches flowers grow. Monica, too, begins to soften toward Alice. She sees that the influencer's kindness is genuine, and the two become friends in their own right. A wedding and a relapse. Months later, Hazard, now sober for nearly half a year, receives an invitation to a friend's wedding. Feeling proud of his progress, he asks Monica to be his date. Monica agrees. At the wedding reception, they dance and enjoy the celebration like a normal couple, and Hazard almost feels truly free. But one ill-fated glass of champagne changes everything. Hazard, confident he can handle just one drink, sips it, and suddenly finds himself spiraling. One glass leads to two, and soon Hazard is smoking cocaine and flirting with other guests. Monica watches in horror as Hazard's facade shatters. Distraught and embarrassed by his relapse, Hazard slurs apologies. Heartbroken, Monica slips away and sends Riley to escort her home. In the early morning light at Monica's flat, Riley quietly explains the truth. Hazard has relapsed. Monica feels shocked and betrayed, but also deeply worried about her friend. Seeing Hazard asleep on her sofa, ashamed and exhausted, Monica's anger turns to compassion. She gives Hazard a hug and forgives him. In that vulnerable moment, she realizes she still cares deeply about him. Forgiveness and romance. The next day, Hazard wakes up and apologizes with raw honesty. He admits he will never be able to drink casually again. Monica, in turn, opens up about her own pain. She confesses that losing her mother at 16 left her feeling orphaned and always in need of control. They lay all their deepest truths on the table. Monica sees how broken but sincere Hazard is, and Hazard recognizes Monica's fears. By embracing these revelations, they agree to rebuild their friendship honestly. Hazard recommits to sobriety, determined to face life without alcohol or secrets. Riley, seeing how close Monica and Hazard have become, quietly tells Monica he plans to return to Australia. He thanks her for the love she showed him and wishes them happiness. Monica gently bids him goodbye, understanding he is doing what's best for both of them. In the quiet aftermath of this honesty, something beautiful happens. Monica and Hazard realize how much they mean to each other. One evening, with all walls down, they share a tender, surprising kiss. Friendship blossoms into romance. The two become a couple, their love grounded in the authenticity they've practiced. Lizzie and the final revelations. With the group reunited and Monica and Hazard together, the green notebook prepares to deliver its last message. One morning at the daycare garden, Alice accidentally drops the notebook. Lizzie, a volunteer and retired librarian helping with the project, finds it. Curious, Lizzie reads every entry, moved by the honesty and depth of these stories. She even adds a small note of her own, reflecting on life's missed chances, before passing the notebook along. Lizzie's inquisitive nature doesn't stop there. Inspired by the notebook, she uses her smartphone to look into Julian's past. She uncovers a startling secret. Julian's wife isn't dead. Years ago, she left him for another man. But Julian told everyone she had died so he could be the grieving widower. Shocked and empathetic, Lizzie realizes Julian deserves the truth. She rushes to find him and gently reveals what she's learned: Julian's last party and legacy. Monica decides to throw a big outdoor birthday party for Julian in Kensington Gardens. Under the summer sky, all the friends gather. Riley, back from Australia for a visit, Benji and Baz, Alice, Lizzie, and even Julian's estranged wife with her new partner. Everyone circles around Julian, who finally confesses his lies. He apologizes to his wife for the deceit. She listens, her eyes softening, and forgives him. In an atmosphere of laughter and forgiveness, the friends celebrate with music, paint, and cake. As the party winds down, Julian sits contentedly on a park bench with his loyal dog. He holds the now famous green notebook in his hands. For the first time in years, Julian has found peace and true friendship. With a gentle smile, he closes his eyes and dies peacefully in his sleep. The next morning, a security guard doing rounds in the gardens finds Julian. Seeing the notebook in the old man's hands, the guard realizes its importance. He carefully slips it into his pocket before calling for help. The notebook's journey isn't over. Its next chapter is ready to begin with someone else who needs authenticity. Themes and takeaways: authenticity and honesty. Every character learns that sharing real feelings, even painful ones, can heal and connect people. The green notebook symbolizes the courage it takes to be truly honest. Loneliness to community. The novel shows how isolated lives can transform when people open up. Julian starts utterly alone, and each character has secrets, but together they form a warm, supportive community. Transformation. By the end, each character has grown. Hazard remains sober and finds purpose. Monica discovers love and peace with her grief. Julian confronts his past, and Alice learns to balance reality with her image. They all become better, happier versions of themselves. Love and support. Love appears in many forms, not just romantic, but the deep friendships and family-like bonds that the characters build. Painting together and even growing a garden become acts of caring that hold them together. Continuing the journey. The final scene reminds us that one act of honesty can ripple outward. When the notebook ends up in new hands, it suggests the story of truth and connection will keep changing lives chapter after chapter.